So, as you guys know, I still do not have a PS5, nor will I be able to get one anytime soon. As much as I would absolutely love to get my hands on a PS5, it is just out of the realm of possibility for me, and I don't know if it will be within the next few years. The harsh reality is, I am one of the millions of people who would love to get a next gen console, but sadly can't for two reasons. One, scalpers. They have absolutely ruined the market for a next gen console. Trying to find a PS5 for retail price is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is the size of a continent and the needle is the size of a fucking tick. And of course, the second reason, I have no money. Yeah, COVID has ruined me financially too, so there's that as well. So basically, I'm stuck in a situation where even if I could afford to find a PS5 and buy one, which I can't, no store in my area actually has any on the shelf, so there is no point in even looking, so why bother? And even though I have a PC, it is garbage. I really messed up when I bought my PC. I didn't do the research, and as such, I bought a piece of crap that can barely run old games. So I just can't get my hands on a next gen console or a good computer, which means I have to work with what I have. And that means using my PS4 to the best of my ability. As such, I opted to swap the hard drive with an SSD for better load times. And I've done everything I could to take care of it so that it can last me as long as I might need it. So it really deeply upsets me to see that GTA Online, one of my favorite games, is struggling. As you'll see throughout a lot of this footage, it just has a hard time handling some basic stuff. Running around the map, loading into interiors, running certain missions. It's just having a hard time. And all of this was recorded both in an invite-only session and then later in a public session. Like, it's struggling in invite-onlys, and even when I get a consistent 30 frames a second, which is sadly the limit here on old gen, I get constant frame drops. Like, every now and then, the game will just suddenly drop down to like about maybe 10 frames if I'm lucky, for like a split second, and then back to 30, and I don't know what's causing it, I don't know why it's doing this. All I know is the game is having a hard time running, and here's the crazy thing. I'm on a PS4 Pro. I have what's generally considered the better of the two models. I can't imagine how bad this must be for anyone playing on a PS4 Slim. Not to mention, people on Xbox are probably struggling too. I can only imagine how bad it is for people on weaker systems. And that's why and the reason I wanted to bring this to attention is because the PS5 version has like a performance mode. So I started brainstorming and I thought maybe in a future update it might be time for Rockstar to like downscale the graphics. I don't know what they could do that would, lessen the effect. Like maybe they could lower the resolution to 720p. Maybe they could just turn the textures down. Maybe remove some shadow effects here and there. Or maybe like do all of that to some extent. I just really think it's time that they give us a way to turn the graphics down on old consoles. Because here's the thing. If more people were able to get a PS5 or an Xbox Series, then I don't think it would be a big deal. I mean, let's face facts here. This is Rockstar. Likely the only reason they're still updating old gen is because people like myself are kind of stuck here and they want to give us a reason to keep playing their game. So it's both a good thing and a bad thing that consoles are getting updated. It's a good thing because people like me, who are still stuck on the old consoles, have most of the content that the rest of everyone is getting. There is some stuff like the HSW vehicles that we still can't use, but I mean, it's just a few cars here and there. And I'm sure having cars as fast as I've heard the HSW vehicles are would probably break the game even further. But, like, it's bad because the game is clearly on its last legs for old consoles. And what's funny is that apparently this is what eventually happened to the PS3 versions. Like, cars got so ridiculously fast on old gen, and so much stuff kept being ported to like PS3 and Xbox 360 that it couldn't handle anymore, so they cut support for it. Or like, they just stopped updating it. I really think it's time Rockstar consider their options. I'm not saying they should drop the old gen. Absolutely not. Because, like I said, most people still cannot find a new console. So they'd be missing out on a huge player base if they cut support. I'm just saying it may be time to downscale graphics a bit, just to make the game run smoother. I don't think it'll ever be a stable 60 frames a second on PS4. That's a very unreasonable expectation, considering how old of a game this is. But I do think that they should add a performance mode, just something so that if we really needed to, we could turn the graphics down and run the game at least a stable frame rate. Because I actually don't mind 30 FPS that much for most games. 60 frames is nice, but it's not necessary. The issue I have is that the game just runs so horribly now. It's very clearly not running well, and I think Rockstar should consider adding a performance mode just to keep things stable. But let me know what you guys think. If you're still on old gen consoles, then leave your thoughts below. What do you think they could do? If anyone here is better with computers than I am, please feel free to correct me if I messed anything up here. But that's it for now. That's my thoughts here. I'm out.